love it.
It's DR Smart, and we are reviewing The Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 6, Deal No Deal. This is a spoiler review, so if you have not seen this episode, come on back. And with that, let's go.
That's a laugh.
Who is this?
So we start off with Ahsoka and Trace working on the freighter in Trace's hangar. Trace notices Ahsoka's mechanical skills and asks what academy she went to.
Skywalker Academy.
We learned that Trace and her sister inherited the hangar when their parents split up, and Rafa owns the laundromat as a gambling front. She uses it for her illegal activities. Trace worked odd jobs and did whatever she could to be able to get credits so she could purchase piece by piece the ship that we saw in last episode. Trace convinces Ahsoka to stay around.
Idea. I mean, you crashed here on that piece of junk. What if you didn't crash on my landing platform? Things could have gotten messy for you. Believe me, things couldn't be a bigger mess for me than they already are.
So after she convinces her, Rafa comes and she basically convinces them that she needs them as her new crew. So when they get on to the ship, Rafa just has to check Ahsoka for a second.
You show up out of nowhere, suddenly you and my sister are inseparable? What are you after?
And when all three get into the spaceship, all I can think of is...
Here's another one. And another one. Yeah.
So they accidentally fly into a military lane that takes them into Imperial cruisers, line of sight, and then they get hailed.
This is a Silver Angel. What can I do for you?
Have yours still mine. This is military airspace.
Anakin's on the cruiser and he senses Ahsoka, and all I can think of is...
The apprentice lives.
Shout out to Rebels, feature time with Ahsoka and Anakin. But what Anakin does is he senses her, but he doesn't say anything. He lets her fly by. So they are able to leave Coruscant, and they're off to the mission that Rafa has secretly told her sister, but hasn't told Ahsoka. And so then they get to fly into hyperspace, and we learn that it's not as smooth as everybody does it in the movies.
Traveling through hyperspace in like dust and crops, boy.
Because Trace has it going on a bumpy ride, but they do finally get to where they're going, and we find out they are going to Kessel. And what I think about is...
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
So then Rafa tells Ahsoka that they are going to be picking up some medicine from Kessel. And so they meet King Kanasha Lak, King of Yorba's major doma. And they go to like a banquet where they're talking with them. And Ahsoka's asking different questions, trying to figure out what's going on.
What kind of medicine are we transporting?
The essence of the medicine. You will deliver 3 containers of unrefined spice.
So Ahsoka tries to reason with Rafa about how running spice is dangerous. But they take off anyway, and they go to the spice mines. So Kessel has people as slaves taking care of the spice there. So once they get there, they get the spice. They have a big argument over who should do what with the spice. And in the middle of the argument, Trace decides to dump out the spice into space.
Oh no, what did you do?
I dumped the spice.
You did what?
Problem solved. Neither one of you gets your way, and I keep my ship.
So under duress, Ahsoka puts up a plan to be able to get the money and get out of there without having to show them the spice. So once they do land and have to deal with those there, then Ahsoka uses the Force to be able to suggest them giving the credits. They almost get away, but they get stopped by the patrols there and a tractor beam. And that's the end of the episode. So overall, it's a pretty good episode. We get our Kessel references and spice trading references in this episode.
You're a spice runner?
And we get to see the progress of this arc. We'll see what happens next. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and or subscribe. I want to leave you with the Jedi moral of the week. Mistakes are valuable lessons often learned too late. Take care.